Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about the Winchester Mystery House. So, what is the Winchester Mystery House? It is in San Jose, California, and today it is carefully preserved, and it is now a tourist attraction, and thousands of people go to it every year. And it is featured in big and small screen projects. It's talked about on probably well over 1,000 podcasts, right? It's incredibly famous, and it is a massive draw, all right? So let's talk about what it is exactly. So Sarah Winchester was the wife of the famous gentleman Winchester who created the Winchester rifle. The Winchester rifle is like this super famous American rifle, and the Winchesters made just a mountain, and that is kind of like not even an exaggeration, literally a mountain of cash, making useful rifles for Americans to use for all kinds of great purposes. All right, now the problem is Sarah Winchester didn't feel great about it. She felt very sad about it, right? And she became very interested in the occult. And at the end of her life, what she did was, her husband Winchester had commissioned this house. They built the house, but Sarah Winchester continued to have work done on the house, and so she worked hard to organize laborers to continue to build on the house. However, it reached a point where she was just, the contractors are like, hey, here's your extra floor, here's your extra hallway, here's your extra glass terrarium, here's your extra terrarium. And they're like, hope you like it. And she's like, I love it, start building over there. And they're like, what do you want built? We've built everything you could possibly want on this house, and you're like the only person living in the house, and it's way bigger than you need. And she's like, shut it, keep building. Right? And they're like, what do you want built? Build a staircase there, build a door there, and build a wall there. And they were like, well, those don't connect. Like, that's not going to be useful. Shut up and build. And she did not stop building. She just kept building. Okay? And the reality is she reached a point where many people felt that she was not building for purpose or use anymore, right? She was building for a different reason that people did not understand. Now, why are we talking about the Winchester Mystery House? The reason why is I think that's exactly what has happened with Dungeons & Dragons, right? So Dungeons & Dragons has literally had well over 1,000 designers work on it since 1974. And they have just kept building, and they never stop. In fact, they recently said, editions are dead, there's just one Dungeons & Dragons, and we're just going to keep moving. We're no longer even going to talk about editions. There will never be another edition. We're just going to keep building Dungeons & Dragons. Now, you would think that Sarah Winchester would fail with this type of a plan, right? You would also think that Dungeons & Dragons would fail with this type of plan, where they're like, we're just going to keep building, right? We're not even paying attention to, we don't need floors or halls or, just build a staircase there, build a wall there, and the reality is, and people are like, how does this connect to this? Well, perfect example of this is Radiant Citadel. Radiant Citadel is a fantastic connection hey, you have a whole bunch of realms. You want to get your people from this realm to this realm to this realm? Radiant Citadel does it. Guess what we're releasing next month? Planescape. You're like, wait, doesn't Planescape do exactly the same thing that Radiant Citadel does? And we already had it in the 80s, and actually it undoes a lot of the work of the people of color writers that you hired for Radiant Citadel. That seems like you're building a staircase to nowhere. So you would think that both of these would fail. Neither one of them has failed, right? The reality is, all those, there were other widows whose husbands did great stuff, and they didn't keep building their house until they literally died and literally had no more plans. What buildings are those? Nobody remembers because nobody cares, right? But the Winchester Mystery House, everybody cares. And that's the issue, right? The Winchester Mystery House, because she never stopped. right? She just kept going. She just kept building. And that's why the Winchester Mystery House is very, very, very carefully protected and preserved and respected and has a legacy today, right? Because in America, the only thing you won't be forgiven for is stopping, right? You cannot stop building, right? And Dungeons & Dragons never did. And the reality is Dungeons & Dragons is a lot like the Winchester Mystery House. It has some super functional floors, some really amazing stuff in it. But it's also got stairways that don't lead nowhere. Like, it's all got walls that like are right behind another wall. Right? Like, and the reality is, and here's the thing, you'll find them in my comments. You'll find D&D commentators saying, this doesn't make any sense. It sucks and people are going to not care about it soon. No, they're going to care a lot about it, right? Like, because the only way you fail in America is you stop. As long as you just keep going. Keep building, put up another staircase, put up another wall. Hey, if you ever get back to building, highly functional areas, great. If you didn't, we already have some super highly functional areas, right? And the only thing Americans will not forgive is stopping, right? But continuous, passionate building will always succeed. Sarah Winchester proved it. Amanda Heyman proved it. And that is why Dungeons & Dragons rocks and is as cool as the Winchester Mystery House. All that is my humble opinion. I am super eager to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.